So I don't even know if we need to officially start.
Right.
It's so exciting to actually bring the winner of the NAVIcon Cup. This is the third annual.
Wow.
Third annual. We've done three in the books.
Wow. So who were the first two winners? Because we're going to put him.
Just listening.
Give them a little background.
So right now we're at the very tail end of
tail end
with Steve Greenfield.
That's why I'm so happy. We're done. We're wrapped.
Yeah, it's that boost of energy where you know it's
happy.
over now.
Yes, that's right.
And also the winner of the NAVIcon Cup, Jimmy Douglas.
Jimmy did an outstanding job. I hope someone recorded it because, I mean, this man did an outstanding job today. Really great.
Playing at 2x speed YouTube video style.
Yes, yeah, exactly right.
He only had 5 minutes. It was 10 minutes. He said, I can do 2.
I didn't want to get cut off. Like, I knew that you were just going to turn off my microphone. And I had to get every word out.
Come on.
Okay, let's start high level. So it's the end of used car week. Steve, how many used car weeks have you been to? We talked about a lot.
I don't know.
All of them.
Give us
Yeah.
the temperature of this used car week.
So, this is a record actually in terms of attendance, and the background with Used Car Week, it's an amalgam of like 3 different conferences. So it used to be like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we used to go to Las Vegas for like 2 weeks straight and back to back, and you never even got to go home over the weekend. And they clued in. They said, well, why are we subjecting people to that? And they said, let's bring all 3 conferences together. So now it's only 4 days in a row, but at least it's all compressed, but makes it super efficient for people to show up. So like people come in from all the nooks and crannies of the used car space, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see a lot of old friendly faces.
Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of people, and there are clearly and significantly tracks, like where you can stay in a lane and it maybe fits your part of the automotive industry, like your little vertical or that. Like there are tracks in which you can engage in, which I think is a really neat kind of way to engage a community. Like everyone's here, but I'm kind of doing this part, I'm doing this part, right? Yeah.
But yeah, in the common space, you can go and mingle with everyone.
Yes, exactly.
Very nice. Jimmy, was this your first?
It was my first used car week, and I spent probably 95% of my time in the common space, actually.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it was an incredible opportunity to meet people in person for the first time that I'd only met over Zoom, actually cut like real deals with respect to how we're standing up the back-end operation for Plug, and honestly, I feel like a true member of this community.
Do people know what Plug is? Maybe he should pitch.
Yeah, we're going to he should. but maybe we should talk about this trophy.
Oh, yeah.
That's sitting in front of you. If you're
How
just
awesome
listening,
is that thing?
This is like a work of art. It is a welded together amalgamation of all like this hardware.
Used auto parts. It's all used auto parts. All of it. Yeah.
Perfect for an EV startup.
Yes.
I'm waiting for Pixar to bring this to life. Right? When you see that.
Chunk, Terminator style.
I feel like it bounces like the little lamp. And I believe you cut yourself on this?
I did. This thing, I split my thumb open 2 nights ago as I was showing it off.
Oh, great.
Shame on me. So you got some of Steve's DNA in there somewhere.
No, that's wonderful. I'm actually...
It's a solid
heavy.
30 pounds.
It's about as heavy as my son, who's 13 months. And I was actually wondering if you were going to think about just making it increasingly heavier every year, maybe packing some lead inside as a practical joke till it gets to the point that it requires 2 hands to carry.
There you go. That's right. You need a handler to carry your bag.
So give us the history. Why did you begin, what was the intention around NAVIcon and specifically the NAVIcon Cup?
This is a great question. So I love entrepreneurs. What I do all day is talk to entrepreneurs, get pitched by entrepreneurs. We invest, we help them. We're like therapists to them in the early stages.
I believe that.
3 years ago, talked to the folks here at Used Car Week, and they had an inclination to like stand up a standalone investor conference. I did too. So kudos to them. They've been very supportive. I get to curate all the content. They provide the space. It's a very symbiotic relationship. And the highlight of the day is exactly this, what Jimmy just won. I said, like, let's get entrepreneurs in to pitch. We'll get professional investors on stage, right, to scrutinize them, to act like sharks, so to speak, right, with questions. And I found a guy on Etsy who is a welder, and I challenged him. I said, look, I want to build something unique that we can give away to the winners. It's got to have an automotive theme. And literally, this is how it went down. The guy said, oh, I got a great idea. He says, can I get back to you in a week? And then like a week later, he sends me photos, and it's this. And I'm like,
That's unreal.
Are you freaking kidding me? Like with no guidance from me whatsoever. He says, yeah, I've been thinking about this for a long time.
You're like,
and by the way, if you see this is awesome. So the guy's up in Michigan, and as a result, we've got him a lot of business. But if you see this thing, it's like, what 30 pounds, 25, 30 pounds?
It's got to be, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things about this I'm noticing right now is that the way he powder coated it is that it looks greasy. but it's not
but it's
greasy.
clean.
Not greasy.
That is
The only grease
That's
is from
masterful.
my blood.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. You know,
A machine, right? Which is why it just looks like oil.
the investor space and even the tech space in auto has been rapidly accelerating over the last 4 to 5 years. There's just been a ton of new entrants. There's a ton of new entrants for multiple reasons. One, the tech is more, it's easier to create, but also at the same time, there's a ton of opportunity in automotive. And a lot of times there's this great chasm between like the dealer or even the consumer and the approachability of new tech, right? Like, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know how that serves. And so highlighting it in a way that says, like, we're going to ask questions about it. We're going to ask questions of it. We're going to ask questions of these incredible entrepreneurs actually gives it a lot more breadth instead of just like, oh, I'm a dealer, come sell me, you know, or I'm an industry partner, I'm going hard. You know, it's a whole business, part of this business that's never been highlighted in that way, I feel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dealers, as you guys know better than me, I mean, they become desensitized, right? They get pitched so much. And many dealers now don't even walk the floor at NADA because they're worried they're going to get pulled into a booth and get pitched to, right? So I think that that we try to expose the flip side of that, right? These are like humans who have an idea. They're going to go try to vanquish a dragon, a big dragon. And it's like to humanize them and say, like, they're on an entrepreneurial journey. And by the way, it's hard work and thankless work. And, you know, I think when dealers see that, they're like, oh, okay, well, maybe the next time I get pitched, I can like probe a little bit, right, and have empathy, perhaps. You know, as you guys try to bring a community together. I mean, if we can allow the vendors to be more human to the dealers, and the flip side's true too, right? Like, I mean, you should not just be grinding dealers, right, and say, hey, can I set up a pitch for you, etc. It's a losing proposition. So I think we need to raise the bar on the relationship between vendors and dealers, right? Make sure that the vendors better understand the dealers and how they think and what their business levers are. But the flip side, if we can get more empathy from the dealers, and the interesting thing is, we've talked about this, is like many more dealers now are very interested in investing directly in these tech
They're either
startups.
building their own or they're
in many
investing.
cases. Yeah. So we are starting to see like this blurring of lines, and the dealers are starting to understand now, hey, if I can co-opt an entrepreneur early, I can influence them, influence their product roadmap, and by the way, maybe put some of my own money to work as well. And when there is a successful outcome, both sides win.
And that's a dream come true type of partnership from a founder's perspective, for whatever that's worth.
All right, well, let's talk about Plug.
Yeah.
Okay, you won. You got the most votes and the highest level. If you didn't see it, there are 4 judges on stage. They voted 1 through 10. 10 is here's my money. 1 is I never want to hear from you again. The audience got the vote in the same way. And with all the weighted averages, Plug came out on top because of your pitch. So tell us about Plug.
Thank you. Yeah, for those who don't know, Plug is an online marketplace that facilitates the wholesale buying and selling of used electric vehicles among a network of dealers and fleet operators. And it solves a critical problem for those who are transacting in vehicles like those, because they are fundamentally different assets than combustion vehicles. But in today's market, we generally buy and sell them like they're not any different. And that's caused a very inefficient market. There's been a lot of confusion around what people are buying, what the true value behind them is, and how to properly merchandise them. And it's been causing some disenfranchisement amongst the dealer body due to things like pricing volatility and lack of transparency around that information. So we're trying to democratize access to that information and create an efficient market.
He said that once or twice before.
That's strong. So, yeah, I'm like, you got it. Nailed it. This, you know, and I had this question for you on stage, and I think a lot of people are always asking in auto, like, why another login? Why another provider? Why do I need to do something that, like, things like eBlock and ACV auctions and others that have created these online auction spaces or dealer-to-dealer networks? Why do we need another network, another marketplace for that? What's so important about the unique data set or the unique engagement in a platform like Plug?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I don't blame people for asking. My answer would actually be that it's not another login for this type of asset. It's actually the first login for this type of asset, whereas other platforms enable you to transact in EVs, but we're treating them like they're the same assets as other vehicles, but they're really like a computer on wheels. Its value is derived from things like computer hardware, software, battery pack, things that we generally don't even have the ability to filter or search based upon, let alone rely on the data that's being provided to us. VIN decoders, original Monroney labels, those aren't a valid reference for these types of vehicles. So we're thinking about it differently from the ground up and differentiating in many ways, including our approach to leverage the fact that EVs are inherently connected to the internet and have APIs that allow us to gather that information directly, so it's a real-time snapshot rather than a reference point going back in time.
Okay, so there are 60 days, we'll call it, maybe a little less than 60 days left in 2023. Would love to know what you're going to be spending that 60 days working on and thinking about. Steve, go first.
I got a lot of travel still. Next week's a good example. I'm presenting to dealers in New Jersey on Tuesday, in Cincinnati on Wednesday, and then Dallas on Thursday.
When you do this, you're presenting to dealers. What are you presenting?
Well, a lot of it's the future of automotive. So for example, next Wednesday, I'm up with the Greater Cincinnati Auto Dealers Association. We'll have 150 franchise dealer owners in the audience,
Wow.
and trying to help them think through like the next 5 to 10 years and what that might look like, and most importantly, what the implications might be on their business overall, and just help them think critically. Like, dealers are typically in this 30-day cycle, and I think they appreciate a couple of times a year pulling their heads out, looking at the horizon with all the news cycle, understanding which of these industry themes might actually impact their business and getting prepared for those things.
Same question.
Yeah, I will also be in New Jersey on Tuesday, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I have,
high five at the airport.
Yeah, absolutely. I have some dealership meetings out there and some other interesting opportunities. I have a conference in Denver on Wednesday with the Presidio group. I need to spend more time back in the office working with my team because we're gearing up to relaunch Plug now in its beta form at the beginning of December. And that will probably speak for the remainder of my year as we start getting more transactions under our belt and, also the holidays.
There you go. Very cool.
Bring us home.
Bring us home, man. I just so enjoyed this today. I got to
Kyle, by the way, was a judge. So,
I was a judge.
You did an outstanding job. I was very proud of you.
Well, here's this
great, incisive, thoughtful questions.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I was really paying attention because I'm sitting next to Quinn with Autotech Ventures and Chase with FM Capital, and then and Terrence with the director of VP of Business Development, which is like the acquisition channel for partnership for CarMax, and these guys are dealing with major enterprise agreements, massive startups, VC capital, like $500 million that they've put out in funds over the last few years. And I'm sitting here, I'm like,
dude, you stood your ground.
Here we go.
Absolutely.
But I love engaging with early tech startups. I have such a desire to see them meet consumers and dealers where they are and stop thinking in such an insular narrative. And so I think a place like this allowed multiple people to lean into that. And I think that maybe even just the people in the audience opening their horizon to go, maybe we need to think about the next step of automotive tech and how we engage either the dealer or the consumer a little bit differently. And so I had a bunch of fun. Thanks for having me.
No, anytime. We'll do it again next year.
Well, we'll wrap it up this way then. This is the morning show. People are starting their day off with this one. So as you go into the day, maybe approach things a little bit differently. Think a little more critically about it. My voice is all cracking up because the dry air in Arizona. I love it.
It's brutal.
But yeah, it is brutal. But thanks for joining us, guys, today. Amazing show, amazing NAVIcon event, and I'm sure we'll do this pretty soon.
Great. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.